Hey guys, it's your brother in Christ, Weston. Thanks for joining me today. So today's article comes out of End Times Headlines. Let's get into it. Okay, so we've been talking about this, and I kind of felt this was coming, but I've also heard rumor about this from the Trump admin. And yeah, let's read. It says Elon Musk suggests that the U.S. should leave NATO. That's a big suggestion, but it's not without conversation around it as well because the Trump admin has talked about this. So let's discuss. Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur and key figure in Donald Trump's admin, has ignited a firestorm of debate by publicly suggesting that the U.S. should exit the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. In a post on social media platform X on March 9th, which was yesterday, we really should exit NATO. It doesn't make sense for America to pay for the defense of Europe, and it doesn't. I don't know how many times we have to pay for somebody. Like we are it makes me think, how much money do we really have, and how many hands in the cookie jar do we really have, and should we be there? Also makes me think, whose pockets are we lining? Who has dirt on us? Or what kind of nefarious stuff are we doing that we're constantly paying for things to happen in other spaces and places or nations? And doing backhanded deals and funneling wars, or drumming up new organizations that you never heard about and people you'll never know about, and trying to spark nation against nation kind of conflict, or something, right? So people get paid. It's weird. It's almost weird. Like, destruction at some point means that you're going to get paid, but it's like, what does that do for you when there's nothing there, when there's nuclear blasts that are happening and the things that you bought are gone? Like, I don't understand. You would think peace would be the better option versus destruction and war, lining the pockets of that, or control. I guess it's control. I don't know. It's definitely something out of a movie for sure, and I'm all for it at this point, because I believe that, all for it meaning, like, I believe like everything's on the table. Like, it's not, this is in the realm of like inches of possibility, that it's not like, oh, this is a conspiracy theory. No, it's not. Not at this point. It says the statement coming from the head of the Department of Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, and close Trump ally, has exemplified existing tensions between U.S. and its European allies, raising questions about the future decades-old military alliance. Musk's remarks align with a broader narrative within the Trump admin, which has long criticized NATO's financial burdens. On U.S. Business Insider reported that Trump has repeatedly called out European NATO members for inadequate defense spending, meaning they're holding their own, like they are legitimately not contributing enough, even threatening to withdraw from the alliance during his first term if allies didn't increase contributions. There you go. So we are like, you're the person being taxed. You're the person that's contributing to all this and more. And whoever's just, turning on the printing machines and just making money, printing money. In March 2025, excuse me, just having coffee at 3:26 today. Trump reiterated his skepticism, saying that the U.S. would not defend NATO. Whoa, I didn't know this. Would not defend NATO members failing to meet spending targets, a position Musk appeared to echo. The timing of Musk's comments is particularly striking as European leaders scramble to bolster support for Ukraine in waning U.S. commitment. Following Trump's decision to pause military aid to Kiev earlier this month, as noted by Newsweek, the suggestion to leave NATO isn't new for Musk. On March 2nd, 2025, he endorsed a broader call to exit both NATO and the United Nations, responding, "I agree," to an ex-user's post, according to The Independent. The earlier stance drew support from the Republican lawmakers, including Utah Senator Mike Lee, who has labeled NATO as a Cold War relic and argued it disproportionately benefits Europe at America's expense. I, if there's one thing that I'm for, it's for protecting my own. Here's a biblical stance for it. All right, got a scripture for you. It's something I've stood by for a long time. Um, it says, this is 1 Timothy 5, verse 8. And we'll start at verse 7. Give these instructions to believers that they will be above reproach. We have to read the whole context of that. But it says, if anyone does not provide for his own, and especially, if anyone does not provide for his own, it's not her, the call's on a man, his own, and especially, even above that, his own household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Comments have struck fear into the European establishment. Whoa. With leaders in the UK, Prime Minister Keir Starmer rallying NATO members to counter Russia's aggression independently if U.S. commitment wavers. The New York Times detailed how Musk Doge head has pushed for massive federal layoffs, contract cancellations, reflecting his broader mission to cut government spending, a lens through which he likely views NATO contributions. Interesting. His March 9th post reassuring a call to exit NATO now with his added commentary underscores his fiscal critique. Independent noted Musk has offered little elaboration on why NATO's costs outweigh his benefits beyond the financial argument. The debate over NATO's future is far from settled. While Musk and some MAGA aligned figures like Senator Lee push for withdrawal, reported minimal congressional appetite for such a move, with 2024 House vote can cut NATO's funding failing 46 to 34. Oh, wow. As tensions from Europe and Ukraine simmer, okay, Musk provocative stance amplified by mainstream outlets like Reuters, CNN, BBC ensures that the U.S. role in NATO remains contentious in Trump's second term. Whether his words translate into policy, however, hinges on political and legal realities far beyond a single tweet. And that's true. I get it. I think it just needs to be made apparent, like everything that we're providing and what has been provided over for, because you're going to hear me speak from emotions. Like when I'm talking about protecting my family, I'm talking about everything as an American. I'm not paying. It's not because I don't want to help anybody else. I don't want to tithe to anybody else. I don't want to feed the poor, help the sick, help other nations. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with at some point, like, am I being taken advantage of? And it's very, very clear. There's no boundaries. And then somebody has crossed those boundaries and we've allowed it, or there's corruption that's happening. And I'm at the point in my 35 years and with probably the past maybe 10 years or so really like understanding, like looking at politics, because I never really cared. I didn't even start voting till almost 10 years ago. Seriously, I think I really voted like around like 25, 26. I'll be 36 this year. And being involved in ways where it's like, hey, like this stuff matters. And then when you have a son and you have a wife, you have a mortgage, you have car payments, you have eggs that are like $10 a carton for, like, I'm paying $1 an egg, but they've kind of gone down a little bit. Um, like I don't understand what's happening. And when the American people are feeling it, we've had enough at that point. And there are more of us than there are of our own government, right? And so it's like, hey, like if there's some kind of like pushback, you're going to hear it. And you need to listen to your people. Like you need to listen to the people that you're governing. And if you think you're going to get away with it, you won't, because I guarantee you people in military at some point, whether they're compromised or not, like they're gonna see it. They're gonna see like the corruption that's happening, things that are happening. Um, and that's why we have like the Second Amendment, in case governments go rogue, they start acting crazy. Your people are equipped to fight back. And when you start talking about finances, we've discussed this so many times. You don't know what you're like until, and I don't know what I'm like. I can only imagine when I'm like, when I cannot feed my son or my wife, and my son says, "Daddy, I'm hungry," um, and I'm scrambling for food. I will do anything to feed my family. You hear that noise? That's my son playing. He's reenacting a fire truck siren. So so right on time. That's a red, like that's a siren that says, like, what happens when the American people feel it so bad and other people are profiting from our contributions? Where is that money coming from? Who, like, is it benefiting us or is it not? Are we being recompensed? What's the deal? How much are we doing? Is it too hard to ask other nations to bring up their contributions, or bring everything back to the table and rework, keeping NATO, but rework what really matters? That's going to be fair and just based on your GDP and the amount of money you bring in, and what does that look like? Because business stuff like that, like, we depend on the Lord. Ultimately, the Lord will provide by all means, and that still doesn't mean we don't steward what God has given us well, and steward it in a way that's transparent, with honesty and integrity, right, and humility, all those things. So yeah, um, I have no idea what that looks like. I have no idea what this looks like. Um, but I think there's just something that's going on, and I'm waiting for something. It feels like something big's going to happen. Um, I can't explain it. It's like, what is it? NATO? Is it WW3? Is it the Epstein files? And whatever's going to happen, I think something counter to it is going to happen as well. What if it's the red heifer situation? What if it's, like the video I made yesterday was about a Russia saying they want to have lace the Crimean vineyards with European soldiers. What? Whoa. something is boiling over, and I think we're seeing like tensions get to the point where they're done. They're done talking. That's what it feels like. So, anyways, guys, appreciate you sticking around. It's a long video, and it's important that we talk about it. So, that's the video. If you like the video, be sure to like the video. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.